Einfelde is one of the most significant Latvian female composers. She was particularly active during the Soviet Union, of which she actually suffered a lot because back then there was a lot of sexism and a lot of prejudice, especially in the classical music and composer society. So actually she had to wait until 1997 when she received the Barlow Award, when she actually gained public recognition. Until mid-90s, her main works were chamber music, and therefore the 4 violin sonatas that are going to be on this CD. And afterwards, she turned her attention more to the choir music.
Last year, Maija received a Latvian Great Music Lifetime Achievement Award, which is the greatest award in Latvia in music, and she deserved it really much.
This CD is dedicated to the violin sonatas of Maija Einfelde. She wrote 3 sonatas for violin and piano. The number 1 was written in 1980, second one in 1985, the third between 1990 and 1995, and the last is Violin Solo Sonata, so a big challenge for me, which was written between 1997 and 2000.
I would say it's very challenging, both mentally, emotionally, as you have to keep long lines, be extremely concentrated and try to transfer it to the listeners. So yes, and it's a lot of small motifs that she grows into bigger form. So she uses some specific rhythms and that you have to play with during the sonatas. Yes, it's a challenging work, but very deep, very profound music. And I've played her trio before, which was also described by some people. It's a very, very dark and yeah, large matter music.
I think it's very concise in terms that there's nothing extra. There's not a single note that would be too much. It's very, very concentrated music. And what would definitely help to the listener is to know a little bit of context of her life. Because otherwise, if you just start to listen randomly to one of these sonatas, of course, the first thing you will be taken by is the extreme dark sounds and the very deep tragicism that is very much behind pretty much every one of her work.
Well, despite her not being recognized in her early time, I think there were many really great Latvian musicians that did play her music, so she was known and she was played. That's great. That's why we know those works. Unfortunately, the 3rd sonata has not been recorded yet, so we're the first one to do that. The same for the violin solo sonata. So hopefully people will play it more and it will be more appreciated.
I actually remember her from when I studied in Emīls Dārziņš Secondary Music School. She was this very strict theory teacher. She never taught me, but I just met her in the hallways, and she gave this very strict teacher impression. So of course I was very afraid. I was like 12 years old. But then afterwards I read some materials about her. I listened to her interviews in order to prepare this CD, and there's a wonderful set by Latvian Music Academy of writings about Maija Einfelde that I also read and listened to pretty much all of her music. So now I sort of met this Maija Einfelde, who is actually a very witty and extremely intelligent person, and I talked to her on the phone. So I think hopefully when COVID is past us, we will be able to actually meet her in person as adults. Einfelde has struggled her whole life to write a light piece. She's quite jealous of her composer friend Salka Mente, who manages to write sort of lighter, time-passing music, and she wished all her life to write something light. So when I called her, and she had already heard the recording of a concert where I played second sonata, she said, "Please make it lighter. Please find some more joy in it." So actually what we have been trying very hard is to find the joy behind the sorrow in this music, to find the light that's behind the darkness, the light that's at the end of all the struggle that we can all find at some point.
My goal in this sonata, I'm sure Magdalena's as well, is to be as truthful to the text as well, because there's a lot of freedom in other interpretations, and well, my goal was to be very true to the composer, and as Magdalena said, to find this light and this a bit of sunshine, even if it's sometimes really not there, but to try to strive for the light in all this very sad and deep music.